This whole film came from an idea that me and Nick had in the gardens when we were shooting Shaun of the Dead. And Naira asked us what we were going to do next, and we just sort of pulled this idea out of the air like a joke, like it was, I don't know, it's like some guys in America and there's aliens. Oh, we said it was going to be America because the weather was going to be nice, because the weather in Shaun of the Dead was so bad. So we're shooting in America, 2 guys, and there's an alien, and there's a chase. And then from that to like this.
We were doing the scene in Shaun of the Dead where we were throwing records at Zombie Mary and the Hulk.
I think it was originally scheduled over about 5 days, but there was torrential rain every single day. And I said, you know, what's our next project going to be? Simon handed me this little drawing of an alien and a little tagline that just said, in America, everyone's an alien. And he said, this is our next movie.
Yeah, we thought, just call it the most, not that Paul's a mundane name, but just call it an ordinary human name.
Right.
And I drew a poster for Naira of an alien guy, like, fuck you, like that. And it's like, here we are.
That was sort of it, and I pinned it up on my board, and I kept thinking about such a brilliant idea. And we talked about it a little bit, but, you know, I think as far as they were concerned, it was nothing more than a little piece of paper.
You know, as soon as Naira takes it seriously, then you start to take it seriously as well.
And when we started filming this, we realised it was 6 years since they gave me that piece of paper, which is still on my pinboard. And I got Big Talk to scan the picture, and I gave it to Greg as a card on the first day of filming.
Early on, we thought we could get a free holiday out of Universal by claiming that we need to do some research.
I think initially it started that Simon and I just wanted 10 days off on our own in America and have someone else pay for it.
And where can we see naked women dancing?
Simon, I'm videotaping.
Oh, I just didn't realise.
That was partly, I think, me trying to galvanise them because they weren't that keen to start writing, and I knew that if they did a road trip in an RV that they might suddenly get into the whole thing a bit more.
We came to LA and we arrived at Working Title, and there was a lovely brand new big RV for us.
We met up with a guy called Steve Weinmuller, who was our driver. A lovely guy who, because we couldn't possibly have driven that beast, it was massive. It was bigger than the Beagle. It was giant. It was a modern one as well.
The Pole Express.
Steve drove us halfway across America in 7 days.
LA to Vegas to Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, and then Denver.
Well, we treated ourselves by staying in the Brown Palace, which is not a euphemism for some kind of anal sex hotel.
And our friend Greg Nicotero gave them a bust of an alien, Paul.
And there's the guy that this is all about.
So all the photos they sent, they framed in such a way so that Paul looked like he was with them, and it really sort of brought it to life, and they suddenly thought, you know what, this could really work.
It shouldn't be Area 51. It should be like, that should be something that they got wrong. It's actually Area 49. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the whole thing about Area 51 is a big myth. It's actually Area 49. Do you know what I mean? It's like
52.
Yeah, Area 52.
Originally we were going to write, I don't know if you just said this, but then we kind of got in the RV in the first hour. We said, fuck it, let's just sit around and watch X-Files and drink beer. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We kind of realised that it was stupid to be sat writing when what we should be looking at was the scenery, and just looking at it and taking it in and making notes about what we saw.
But then they got snowed in and they all had to sleep together in this RV.
We went to sleep and then we woke up and it was like this.
I think we have a problem.
At first, they were emailing me photos all the time. We've just been to this motel, we've been to this cafe, we've done this, we've done this. And then I started getting photos of just like white roads saying, this is all we've seen for 8 hours, just like snow.
Certain parts of southern Wyoming and northern Colorado, it kind of got down to minus 50, minus 70. Coffee's frozen, the Jenny's fucked, and deodorant, yeah.
Pump
Starting to smell.
Yeah.
We stink. We're staying in a hotel tonight.
My bellend smells like CC and Locks.
I don't know what to do with that. If that's on the DVD, you'll get us arrested.
I think the diagnosis from the RV company was that we had destroyed its brain, so it couldn't stay on. You know, we had to have it on all night, otherwise we'd freeze. There was no generator, there was no lights, or yeah, we were in trouble through it.
We're going to go into minus Fahrenheit pretty soon. There's a guy fucking around on a quad bike, making a lot of noise. But above us, over there, are the mountains. There's Nick. Look at him, he's got shorts on. What an idiot. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Look at his little legs all freezing. Wow, it's starting to hurt my face. We are at Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Don't you believe me? Then what's that?
You know, once we got to Devil's Tower itself, because it was January, there was no one else around, so we got to walk around the whole Devil's Tower on our own.
It was the thing that then inspired them, and they came back and they wrote the first draft pretty quickly.
It was extraordinary, and we learnt so much about the landscape, about how bizarrely empty it seems at times. You know, we went to the Little Alien for real. The whole incident with the meatheads actually happened to us.
Well, we went to the Little Alien, and the lady was very chatty, and it was a very nice place. And then two raping hicks came in, and everyone got very frightened. Steve laughed a lot because he was nervous. But so we finished up, and now we're just waiting for them to come past. I figure they'll
Run us off the road.
shoot Steve in the neck and then rape what's left. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Nick.
And every day there was a new experience that fed into the script. A lot of the bird hitting the window happened to us. Just being able to write about the landscape was important. So in actual fact, it ended up being, I look back now and how naive we were to think we could write it without doing it. You know, you learn what it's like to be in the interior of America, you know, and also the beauty of it. It's extraordinarily beautiful and hospitable, inhospitable at the same time. It's a remarkable country, and you know, that I think became a character in the movie itself. You know, America itself.
What you got there, baby?
It's Greg, the director. We hired Greg because of, well, it was Superbad we saw. I saw Greg's first film at the movie, at the pictures at the theatre, The Day Trippers, a long time ago. Are you picking this up on the camera?
It's my lucky,
His little goatees,
my lucky goatee, my lucky goat hairs.
We were looking for someone who had a good comic sensibility, but also a nice visual touch. We had Superbad sent to us. We screened it in London and really, really liked the look of it.
For him to read our script and to enjoy it was, I think, very flattering, and we worked out that we kind of liked one another, and he had some great ideas, and you know, we wanted someone who could come on and collaborate with us, and Greg was just totally up for it.
It was clear that he got the film that we wanted to make. We could just tell the way he talked about it, and we never met anyone else. That was it.
Sean and Hot Fuzz are movies made by people who really, really love movies, and that's a side of myself I haven't necessarily gotten to express as much in the stuff I've done. You know, as somebody who was 12 when Star Wars came out, who used to draw all the characters from every Star Wars movie, every Spielberg movie as a kid, this was an exciting opportunity to live in a world of things I really, really love. But those guys, you know, are incredibly smart. The characters are still rich and real and interesting and hilarious. And so I'm incredibly lucky.
It's a sign of a great director. I think you can see that he has it in his head the whole time, and he has big ideas which he executes really well. You know, there's so much you can say with a camera emotionally. If you are shooting someone on the phone, then they're just on the phone. But if you just gradually drift, it makes the phone call seem more important. And Greg knows how to do those kind of things, which is, you know, something I've always really admired in directors like Steven Spielberg, like Edgar. And now our boy Greg Motz. Motty, Saucy, the Sauce Meister.
So, I mean, you know, Greg's a good egg.
He's a good egg, he's Greg, he's a good egg.
We liked him because he looked a bit like Moby.
And Chris Dickens, the Oscar-winning editor, who is also our editor.
I could always put Greg's glasses on and you wouldn't tell the difference.
That's horseshit.
How do you explain me?
He's smart, he's grumpy, he's funny, he's rude. You know, he's seen it all, he knows it all.
Paul changed. I think he has changed a lot since our initial idea, because we at first wanted him to be a very grumpy old man. We wanted him to be played by a very grumpy old man as well.
Rip Torn or something like that.
Yeah, someone like Rip Torn.
We always thought he was kind of this little grumpy kind of Jewish guy. We'd never thought about Paul being played by a younger person.
I actually met Nick Frost and Simon Pegg years ago at Comic-Con, I think, hilariously enough. I've known Greg man, a really long time, I guess. He actually directed the first thing I ever wrote that got made, which was an episode of Undeclared.
Immediately, Seth just has a kind of really sort of ageless voice, and he brought so much to it.
Those my fucking doors! Get your fucking fingers out of there!
It's funny, when thinking of the character, I watched a lot of interviews with Neil Young, also because I'm Canadian. So that was kind of where I got the idea to it. I mean, I don't do an impression of him or anything like that, but kind of attitudinally speaking, I thought it would be funny if like these two nerdy uptight guys met up with like a Neil Young type guy. Can you just light the fucking thing? Someone who was kind of aggressively laid back and who hated things that weren't laid back.
Well, how about a hot chocolate in bed?
What are you, my grandma?
I couldn't sleep. I'm too pumped.
Yeah, me too. Let's get some beers, find somewhere to chill. What do you say?
All the characters were kind of pretty much set in stone, but then, you know, just dialogue gets tweaked and honed.
Ruth has decided that she would like to come with us. Wicked.
The character that changed the most is Ruth. She was probably the character that developed the most once Kristen came on board.
The character's changed a little bit since the first time I read it, and it's very refreshing to have such a fleshed out female character in a comedy.
In the earlier drafts, we never had her becoming her kind of freed version of herself.
I can drink.
If you like.
I can fornicate.
Maybe.
I can curse.
Oh, yeah.
Penises.
Ruth.
Assing, hairy boobs, poop, farting, buttholes.
Ruth, I'm not sure this is helping.
It's been really an interesting character to play because you want to keep it real and funny while she's having this like spiritual breakdown.
This is kind of like her first outing, and she learns a lot.
Fuckaroo, that was the best titty farting sleep I have ever had.
We used to describe it like to people as, you know, E.T. meets Midnight Run.
E.T. probably as well, and
E.T. Mama Tambien.
E.T. Mama Tambien. The Easy Rider. I mean, Little Miss Sunshine. In a way, we kind of figured it.
It was road trip movies and movies set in space with aliens.
There's a little bit of a sort of Shaggy Dog Road movie kind of quality to it. And then there's this sort of high gloss science fiction movie, the sort of, you know, classics, you know, Spielberg, Close Encounters.
We wanted it to be a sort of indie film in a way, or kind of feel like a big budget blockbuster had crashed a small budget road movie set in America.
Grammy scared the shit out of me.
Ruth, why aren't you driving? I told you, it's easy.
One of the ideas in the inception was to have a film that felt a bit like an indie film, you know, sort of like a road movie that had this incredible CG thing in the center of it, and how amazing the look and feel of the film would be offset against the character himself.
We actually wanted our CGI character to come alive the most in the parts of the movie that could be an indie film. More handheld, more conversational, more jokey, talky, you know, 5 easy pieces with an alien parts. And then the other more action-y, the chase scenes, the explosions, the car stuff, all that should feel kind of like the movie that those two characters that Simon and Nick play have in their brain. But when we're with them and they're driving around the RV, it should seem like a much more of an indie road movie.
Paul has to feel like every other actor in the film. The performance has to lead the CGI rather than vice versa.
That's step A. Here's step B. There we go. I invented this, that's why it's called mooning.
We knew that when we made the film, what we had to do is rehearse with Seth, film those rehearsals, and then give that to the animators. And Seth's own movements had to be the basis for the animation.
Put the phone down.
Oh, no. What have you done to him?
I didn't do anything to him, he fainted.
Yeah, but you made him faint.
Yes, but I mean, honestly, in the motion capture stuff, I kind of thought it would be funny if it just moved as much like me as possible. And I tried to make it extra casual. I tried to kind of make it that he was a little drunk and stoned all the time.
It will only hurt your brain, though. And only if you struggle.
I'd rather not.
I just was more amused by the fact that we were taking this like insane technology and applying it to something so kind of casual.
Hey, give me some Reese's Pieces!
What was amazing is when we were doing it, you could actually see what the alien was doing on this little screen in a very rough form, and that was actually really helpful to see. You know, you didn't want it to move too much like an alien, and have, because it just seemed pointless to do motion capture if you were going to do that.
Oh. I
this?
I've seen him. Where?
Okay, look, can I ask you, does it bother anybody else that Paul had a fucking dummy made so he doesn't have to do off camera anymore?
I'm working on mine. It's being built in my dressing room right now.
Really? You're getting one too?
Is that going to bother you?
How many does he have?
3.
Well, I see the one. Where's the other one?
There's one on the floor there he has for with no arms and no head.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
This is an unusual film in the sense that it's got a lot of visual effects in it, but that's really just because of the one character. In that way, the challenge is to sort of just integrate him, because this film can't look like a visual effects film. It has to just look like a film with 3 guys in it. So we're here having to, ensure that we've got all the right lighting conditions, all the data, all the material that we can to really provide a good level of reality to the CG character.
It's different from shooting a regular movie, and you have to kind of get used to it. Every setup in which Paul appears has to be done, sometimes several times in several different ways.
What have you done to him?
The first stage that we go into is working with Larry. Larry shared the DP. We have a lighting puppet of Paul, and Larry sets up the lighting to give Paul a really nice framework and to make him look amazing.
In that way, if it looks good on the other actors and it looks good on that character, we've got a really decent reference of how our character must look.
No! Listen, I need your help. Can we get this guy back onto the wagon? Sorry. Are you an alien?
I will take that reference to double negative and use that to base our CG lighting on.
And then we generally do a pass with a eyeline puppet, which is sometimes just for the aid of the actors so that they know where to look and they know where to play to.
Can we get this man onto the wagon?
Cut.
I fucking barely held that together.
We need to make sure that the camera's doing the right thing. So a stand-in actor will walk through it. So we see sort of where Paul would be walking. The actors know where he's going to be.
Listen, I need your help. Can you get this guy onto the wagon? Are you an alien?
And then the sort of hero version, the version that is probably in the movie is the blank pass. It's just empty, and so you're essentially just shooting a background plate into which the visual effects people will place Paul.
Can we get the rider Clive Gongs back onto the RV and get going, please?
Yep. I'm in a hell of a pickle, and if you don't help me, I could die on this road tonight.
That was great, Simon. Yeah. I'm trying to think, how would I play meeting an alien?
I know. I was just thinking that. Because seeing him sat over there in the dark the other night, you would just die.
Yeah.
You'd be so scared, you'd just fucking die.
Yeah, I was thinking...
You'd shit yourself, literally.
No, I know.
My name is J. Todd Anderson, and I am the storyboard artist on this picture.
I really like working with J. Todd because he worked with Coens, because he's a real film lover and he's a filmmaker himself. Because we had to work fast, because I knew we weren't going to have a second unit and we had to do all the action stuff ourselves, J. Todd was really helpful to me. I haven't done much action filmmaking before, so he was really helping me think about ways to design it.
Who do you suppose that is?
Holy shit, it's them!
There's a couple of ways to approach the action in the movie. There is the school of get as many cameras as they'll let you have and just make people run around and shoot it and keep it really tight and shake the camera a lot so it feels like it's active. And I just didn't want it to be only that. I wanted it to actually feel kind of kinetic and choreographed, and that there's a sort of cause and effect.
Well, Joe and I were saying that there hasn't been a single shot where the camera wasn't like moving in on you or tracking around you.
With Greg, he constantly challenged me in all the best ways. Challenged us to always try to move the camera, not get complacent on the coverage, get as much coverage as we could. And that, for me, is always exciting when a director is that invested in really sort of working really hard.
You may want to open up, Larry, to like 1.5. I mean, close it down to 5.6. That's my bad.
Larry, the cinematographer, is shooting the movie with such, I would describe it as muscular. I mean, the camera is really going to be telling the story. It's going to be moving the audience along. It always feels like the camera's constantly moving.
From my point of view, each scene should be photographed as if you were shooting it dramatically, depending on the material, or or for action or whatever the specific scene is, it should be shot for that moment and not ever slanted with some edge towards comedy.
Hello and welcome to the set of My Bloody Valentine, Part 2. In this series, the murderer enters a farmhouse and throws a tantrum.
There were two shots that I was very excited about being in the movie. One, they were both in the same sequence. One was when I'm with the axe and I'm taking out the window to shoot at Paul, kind of simulated the Jack Nicholson axe, like following the axe into the door, which I was very excited about. I really wanted to do some Danny! I wanted to break more stuff. The other shot, rather, was a dolly zoom shot. I was thrilled because it just looked so cool, and it was in a movie that I love, Jaws.
That might have been the coolest shot I've ever been in. That,
My goal was for that to be in the trailer.
the fact that you just shot, that was in my favorite movie of all time. I love it.
In Jaws, yeah.
In Jaws, yeah. It's great.
You could the only dolly zoom in the movie. It's not like we're giving them out.
I know.
In all the action sequence that I'm involved in, chasing Paul with a shotgun, driving in, high-speed chase scenes in this great broken-down old truck, it's all tied together from character to character to character.
There's an amazing shot they did that's a stunt shot with a car that's supposed to be me driving. It's not me. I wish I could drive this well. Where the camera's coming towards the car as it's going like kind of against it, and then they cross like this. And it's a shot out of, I think, Sugar Land Express. It was amazing. And then they did another shot with Jason Bateman where they were following him, they're like cameras coming right at him, and then as he pulls and he does dialogue and they go along with him.
Son of a bitch!
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about where it's like Greg really going for it.
It's very action-packed, there's lots going on in this movie. There's a lot of stunts, we just wrapped Darren, our stuntman, the other day, and we realized that because we've only got a week left, there's no more stunts, but he's been on the film that long. We needed Darren here that long.
It's a comedy with action beats, and I like how Greg has played those, and we haven't made a meal of the stunts. They just accentuate the story and move the story forward.
True.
What happened to you, man?
Smacked him in the face with the barometer.
The first take was okay, but the second take, it timed out perfectly, and I hit it. And it was so good for me to do the take, and the minute they said cut, Greg said cut laughing, like, cut! Yeah! Like, he was so stoked by it.
None of them things are good.
Right in the bus!
I can't see your pocket. Did that hurt?
That wasn't my pocket.
No, I said I can't see it. I'm sorry. Did I really hit you? But is it okay?
Fights are always interesting to me. I love doing fights because you have to find the right fight for the film. You have to find out what the characters would actually do.
In the script, our characters are called the meatheads. The meatheads enter the bar. Two meatheads walk in.
With comedic fights, it's cool to find out what works and what doesn't and look for the tone in that fight.
The scene today, the meatheads accost Kristen Wiig's character and get our comeuppance in more ways than one.
Oh, hey, now you leave her alone! Hey!
With the bar fight, they didn't want to make a huge meal of it, but they wanted something going on in the background, and I think we found some cool beats that were pretty entertaining.
It's normally what I'm called on to do, the drama.
They got real. They got real.
Dave Koechner's awesome. His fighting is phenomenal. His reactions are great. His punches are great. I think he really wants to be a stuntman.
These are the other choices for directors that we have. If Greg doesn't work out, we start with Jimmy Joe. He's got two names, and she's just got one. Her name's Felicia. And but Greg seems to be doing pretty well. So they'll continue to train there at this sort of pseudo video village. They don't get headsets yet, but they're learning how to watch.
Please describe your favorite action sequence in the film.
It's got to be that blowing up the house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Obviously, like blowing up a house is always fun, Not that I've done it before.
We went out there, found this lovely location, beautiful, sort of perfect kind of place, and then we had to build our own farmhouse because, of course, we had to blow it up.
You get all this preparation done, and we brought out like 10 cameras, and you spend 2 or 3 hours sort of setting them up, and we wanted to sort of make sure that we could integrate some of our actors in, so we had a closer camera that was kind of representing, you know, a plate that then we could put Moses in front of.
It took a little scheduling gymnastics because we had to be fairly certain that we had the shots we needed because there's no going back. There was no take two.
Hey, everybody, that's the day. Hey, I'm on the telephone right now. It's me.
And the last special effects truck, it was like a little golf cart, comes rushing out, and they've got these remote cameras set up with wooden barriers and things like that. Just as it clears the cameras, you hear over the bullhorn, okay, 3, 2.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
There was a lot of dust, a lot of heat, a lot of flame.
We saw it, then we felt it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because sound, obviously, light travels the fastest, and then sound and the you know, whatever the blast wave hit us, and it literally went into smithereens. I suddenly realised what the word smithereens meant. Yeah.
Man alive, did he blow that house up? You know, and we had these sort of side bets as to what camera would get basically destroyed. 2 of them got completely demolished, not broken beyond repair, but just knocked way off of its supports and blown away. But the one camera that I had, like a $20 bill, and if it had any damage to it, my key grip got to keep it. That was pristine.
It's like it wasn't there. It's like there 1 second, wasn't there another second.
Hey, I went into that house and it blew up. What gives? I got no hand anymore. That's okay, they're making me one. What gives? I got in there, looked for your keys, couldn't find them, the house blew up. What kind of picture is this? Thank God the cameras are off.
It's always
I
that
think
way,
it wasn't
isn't it?
much bigger than we'd written, which was great.
Bill, what did you think of this next shot when you first read it in the script?
The shot that they just added? Yeah, the one.
How did you
The one where they just came over and said, so it's a fireball coming right by you. I guess we want to tie you to the explosion because the explosion was bigger than we thought it was going to be. So now they want to do a fireball right by me. I don't know how I feel about this.
They're going to throw a fireball past you?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yep.
Wow.
You can't do that to Bill Hader.
I feel like in
Yeah,
a
they
way.
can.
Rolling and action. Ready and action.
We're about to shoot a scene where Sigourney Weaver, the beautiful Sigourney Weaver, is going to kick the shit out of me.
I try to get in fist fights whenever I appear in formal wear. Just gets me in the mood.
It's the kind of climax of the film when she comes down and through our metamorphosis from comic book geeks to action heroes, we take a stand and we say no more, and a massive fight breaks out.
And it's sort of, I think, very fitting that she should come down in a gun gray outfit and kick some ass.
Don't fucking move.
It's a wonderful scene where everything goes down and the boys have to dig deep and bring out their odd swords and things to tackle me.
But the idea of clocking one of the most gorgeous actresses in Hollywood in the face was terrifying to me.
He's little. I think I can kick his ass.
She just fucking aced it.
She was so up for punching me and hitting me, I don't know if I should be happy about that.
It was amazing to watch Sigourney Weaver lifting her dress so she could kick Simon in the face. Simon Pegbash and he went for it very much.
Being beaten up by Sigourney Weaver was attractive to me anyway, in a sort of perverse, masochistic way. I think that's frightening. Oh, don't.
I'm so flattered because I'm a huge fan of theirs. They're so dear, both of them. Did you bite me?
I nibbled a little.
What more?
A little hors d'oeuvre.
For instance, Simon just made me my zombie face, which I'd never seen before. So he's always taking time out to do small things for people.
I hope you enjoy those 8 pictures I sent to you.
I did. I sent one to my husband with no explanation. Then I sent them to my agents, asking them to introduce me to a whole new genre.
Greg is really trying to hold different style that he's never attempted before in a film. And you know, he kind of lets you do whatever you want. And you would think with a big movie like this that is very visual that you wouldn't be able to kind of improvise or have, you know, kind of have that freedom, and you do.
Well, we could actually say if we're gonna trade it, it could go Clive, oh God, Graham, drive faster, or Clive, Ruth, that butthorn's gonna catch us, and then no, it's not, and then me.
Yeah.
No, that butthorn will not catch us. Pull him.
Yeah. That butthorn's gonna catch us. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to take his line.
He's got loads of fucking lines.
Eyes forward, butthorn.
What if I pop out that clip and I put in a fresh one and I go towards the car?
Yeah, it's just like I'm the Terminator now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's really
The car's.
Fucking titty sucking two-balled bitch.
Jason Bateman and Joe Latrillo and Bill Hader, the three of them have kind of taken their characters and they've you know, they've completely fleshed it out.
Oh, I hope that makes it in the movie. I don't think it will. Greg didn't know the saying. Greg didn't know the saying, boom goes the dynamite.
Okay, because Bill and I just took a wager whether that's actually going to make it in the movie. Because I just ad-libbed boom goes the dum-dum as the gas mask falls in front of me.
Boom goes the dum-dum. Yeah.
Oh, boom goes the dum-dum.
But Greg didn't know the reference, so I'm thinking he's going to cut it in editing.
No, you have to send him a link to the thing. Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, otherwise.
So when we get into editing, when he gets into editing, I'm sure that'll be gone.
Getting to a point now on this edit of Paul that we're watching is we're seeing Paul for the first time, and we haven't before really as people who invented him. You know, it's fine to watch a film with a weird floating head of Seth Rogen on the screen, which is what Paul has been up until this point.
Cut-ins from the rehearsal footage.
Yeah.
Of Seth.
Pretty good.
Seth is the character, so they've shot him in rehearsal, you know, with various angles with the other actors, but we've just got to put him into the scenes. Essentially, I've just used the rehearsal and I've put him in a little box.
It's like almost like he's sort of cut out the footage and he's there doing his thing. So you kind of, it's quite strange at first, but after a while you just watch it and you kind of go with it. But obviously you wouldn't want to show that. You wouldn't do a big preview in front of an audience.
Occasionally there's a mismatch between what he's doing and what they're doing. But then that's where the animators take over and sort of build on it. Now when we get to test it with audiences, that's going to be a different matter. We're going to need temps of Paul there to show us what he looks like, because that adds another layer of humour to it that just isn't there at the moment.
I'm seeing it now, it's hard to imagine the film without him in it, and it's also hard to remember him not being there, because he looks so much like he's there. We're kind of like, was he there? We weren't there. We're digital.
Yeah.
We're CG.
Paul was there every day, but we weren't.
Someone who just sing. Is that gibberish? She's talking in tongues now? Oh, fuck this. As an actor, you find yourself in some pretty strange positions. It's in case our species do meet, you don't have a fucking spaz attack. Not have a spaz attack. Don't do it again. It's totally different than acting in a live action sense, but I like that you can really kind of look at every scene in the movie and be like, oh, you can make a noise there, and really looking for ways to make every little interaction seem more genuine. It's a miracle. Oh, man, I'm gonna miss these. I really like that you can keep working on the performance and keep refining it. I mean, all the actors in the movie finished months ago and can't really change all that much, but I, up till today, was able to change things that I said and give new joke options and variations on lines. It's just knowledge and experience, man. You're a writer. Might give you some inspiration. I like the dirty sexual part where I'm kind of trying to ask if they're gay, and Paul kind of gets into this filthy pantomime. Okay. Oh.
I don't know what you mean.
Gay?
No.
Anytime you see the alien just do something ridiculous and stupid, that's when we're smoking weed, all that stuff to me is really funny, just because I've never seen such an amazingly accomplished piece of technology used to do something so stupid and infantile, and to me that was the whole appeal.
we're at Air Studios in Belsize Park. That rumble you can hear is the sound of the main hall room machine generator throbbing, powering an entire orchestra.
Turn this off. All the violinists dying.
This is the nerve centre.
You cried a bit, didn't you?
I did. I remember watching like the making of Star Wars and stuff, and seeing John Williams like scoring, and seeing the screen behind him and him conducting, and it's that we've got. But it's for us, for our film.
We've shit John Williams. We've got David Arnold now.
Simon said to me, we're doing this movie about a road trip, me and Nick Frost in America with an alien. That's enough for me.
I'm a fan of David's work, and David is a composer who really understands comedy. The idea was that the music in the film should slowly grow into the kind of score that our lead characters, Clive and Graham, would imagine in their fantasy of starring in a movie.
Which I suppose in a certain extent meant that it needed to be very sweet and naive and simple to begin with. And then in order for us to get to where we get to at the end, which is the big spaceship taking off, you know, we can excuse our nods towards sort of classic sci-fi symphonic scoring there by having gone on this learning curve musically through the film. It's a brilliant thing to be able to do, you know, good comedy, and it's difficult to do things that are sort of consistently funny and moving and exciting, but, you know, I think this film kind of touches all the bases.
It's amazing to think that Naira was saying that this is just from an idea we had in a garden in Crouch End, and here we are at one of the most prestigious studio venues in London, listening to 80 expert musicians play this incredibly complex score for our film, and it's just amazing.
It's been an absolute unmitigated pleasure to work with all of you. I don't think I've ever worked with a more dedicated, friendly, lovely bunch of people in my entire life. So here's to you. Huh?
You said that after Hot Fuzz.
Well, I hadn't worked on this then.
Mini! Yeah!
You're absolutely fucking amazing people, and you've done me proud. You've done Nick proud. You've done all of us proud. God bless you. I don't believe in God. It's been fun. It's been really fun. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I should try and taking his clothes off.
Daddy!
Thank you. Thanks very much. And see you around. See you too.
It's Rick Paul.
Goodbye.